Mark Goldbridge, that's football. It's Chelsea versus Spurs on what is actually, you know what, I know it's a little bit banter, but it really is all about the top four race this weekend. There is a scenario that I tweeted just not too long ago, actually, that if results go the right way, 2 points could separate 4th and 9th. Now, I don't think that's going to happen. It's a scenario, but it really could bunch up this weekend. And obviously, the opener is 4th against 5th. It's Chelsea against Spurs. Very interesting team news coming in from both sides with regards to how they're going to line up. Both going, you know, I've never been a big fan of this. Not a big fan of this, but United have done it recently, and it seems to be a running trend. And the thing is, I've seen Chelsea do this, and I've seen it fail. So they're going with the 3 centre-backs, the 5 at the back, and so are Spurs. Chelsea probably being forced into it a little bit because of some of the injury problems they've got. But kickoff is at 12:30. We'll go through the team news for you in a minute. But yeah, so both teams going with a back 5 or a 3-5-2, whatever you want to call it, which I think, you know, my prediction is that it will be a draw. 1-1, but I did wake up this morning thinking Chelsea would win it because of the home advantage. I mean, as a United fan, I want a draw. I think as an Arsenal fan, you want a draw. As an Everton fan, as a Sheffield United fan, as a Wolves fan, you want a draw. As a fan of somebody who wants it to be an interesting top 4 race, you probably do want a draw. But whether it'll end up in that, I don't know. It looks like a draw's written all over it. A lot of people are saying that in the live comments as well. Please do share the video if you're watching. Subscribe if you're new. We're very close to 123,000 subscribers, which should be great. But let's go through the team news for you before we delve into some of the comments. So Chelsea, Caballero in goal. Still no place for Kepa. Poundland, De Gea anyway. Azpilicueta, Christensen, Rudiger, Alonso and Reece James. So I presume it's a back 5, but there is 3 fullbacks there, but they'll probably play, I presume Azpilicueta will play as a centre-back with Alonso at left-back. And then they've got Jorginho, Kovacic and Barkley as a midfield 3 with Mount and Giroud. I mean, Giroud is a good option, but Giroud is a player that doesn't have a lot of pace, so Chelsea are going to have to move high up the pitch. Tottenham have gone with Lloris, Davinson Sanchez, Alderweireld and Vertonghen as their back 3. They've then got Tanganga and Ben Davis as the fullbacks, and Dembele, Winks and Lo Celso with Lucas Moura and Bergwijn. To be honest with you, in the 3-5-2 or the 5-3-2 that both teams are playing, I think Spurs look better. I think their front 2 of Moura and Bergwijn have got more about them than Mount and Giroud. The midfield battle is going to be interesting. Lo Celso, Winks and Dembele against Kovacic, Jorginho and Barkley. And then the back 5, I prefer the Spurs back 5 of Sanchez, Alderweireld, Vertonghen, Tanganga and Davies over Azpilicueta, Christensen, Rudiger, James and Alonso. And I think Lloris is the better keeper. But obviously the home advantage is with Chelsea. So what are your thoughts, first of all? What are your thoughts on this? Ken K says Mark Stamford Bridge. I like that one. But Loftus-Cheek is back. I think Loftus-Cheek is on the bench. I didn't mention the benches there, actually. Should have done that. Loftus-Cheek is on the bench, Tammy Abraham's on the bench, Willian's on the bench. Probably the better bench is Chelsea's. Lamela, Dyer, Ali, Casanega, Aurier, Skip and Carvalho, Fernandez. I think Chelsea have got the better bench. I think Spurs have got the better lineup. I think Chelsea have got the home advantage. It's tight. It's absolutely tight. And I think it will end up being a draw, to be honest with you. Hi, Mark. Always been a big fan of yours, says Haroon Raymond. Good. If Jose plays 5 at the back, it's a win for Chelsea because they can't afford to lose twice at home, says Mershek Kimmel. I think it's going to be tight. I think 1-1, as Zadoy YouTube says. But I'm massively excited about this game. And I hope that you lot are all as well. I think the connotations of the game itself are huge. 32 minutes till kickoff is correct. It's a 12:30 kickoff, but we're live a little bit earlier for this one because there's so much to discuss. I think it's more than just, hi, we're live for a watch-along and that's football. I think there's a lot to discuss on this. And there's a lot of teams involved in this as well. I think even Everton and Arsenal tomorrow have got a say. The imposter says both lineups look crap. Well, it is more about the players that are missing. And for Chelsea, no Tammy Abraham, no Hudson-Odoi, no Pulisic, no Kante. Just off the top of my head there. For Spurs, no Kane, no Son. But apart from that, I mean, look, they are big losses, but I think Mourinho, Spurs, Do they have an amazing amount of excuses? I don't know. I think, in the modern game, especially around February, March time, you're going to get injuries. That's just what happens. Spurs are finished after injuries, says Henry Withers. Well, I agree, Henry. I think that Kane and Son are big losses, but they're two players. Chelsea we've named 4 or 5 players for Chelsea, and they've had that all season. Manchester United, the club I support, we've had Pogba all season, easily our best player. Martial was out at the start for a couple of months. Rashford's out at the end. McTominay's been out a lot, and we don't really have a midfield and an attack. So teams have got to do better than that. But they're saying it's a 3-4-3 for Chelsea with Barkley supporting Mount and Giroud at the head of them. Be interesting how it lines up. I don't see Spurs getting a result, but the interesting thing is, let's talk about the top 4 race at the moment. A lot of people are going for a draw. Haven't decided if I'm doing a watch-along for Arsenal-Everton tomorrow yet, because I'm doing United-Watford at 2 o'clock, so it'll be a quick change around. What do you think the score will be, Mark? Says Lindsay Isaac. Well, I agree with a lot of people in here. I think that there's a very big chance that it could well be a draw. To be honest with you, I think that's what I think. I think it's got draw written all over it, to be honest. But I don't think Spurs will win. But this season's been really, really interesting in the way that it's gone anyway. And I think one of the most interesting things for me is when you look at the league table and you look at the fixtures we've got coming up today. I mean, 3 o'clock kickoffs, you would normally say they're a bit rubbish, but Sheffield United are playing Brighton, and then the bottom of the table in relation to teams like Bournemouth and Southampton playing Villa, there's some interesting 3 o'clocks. But the Sheffield United playing Brighton game at 3 o'clock is very interesting, because if Sheffield United beat Brighton, they go up to 42 points. If Chelsea and Spurs draw, Sheffield United would be joint 4th tonight. So that's interesting with them. United obviously on 38 points. If we beat Watford, we're up to 41. If Wolves beat Norwich, which you would expect them to do tomorrow, they'd go up to 39. If Everton beat Arsenal, or Arsenal beat Everton, well, Everton go up to 39. Arsenal could go up to 37, which if there's a draw today would leave them only 5 points off 4th place. So lots of teams, all the way down to 10th, are in a top 4 race. And Burnley might say, well, look, if you're putting Arsenal in the top 4 race, you've got to put us in it as well. So potentially down to 11th. But realistically, I think Everton probably out of it. Wolves could have a chance, but probably out of it. I think 4th place is between Chelsea, United, Spurs, and you've got to keep Sheffield United in there, I suppose. But a lot of it will depend on who everybody's got over the next few weeks. Chelsea have got a very, very tough run of games. Bournemouth away won't be easy, but they've also got Liverpool and Man City to play. In relation to Spurs, they've got Wolves next week. They play Wolves next week, then they play Norwich in the Cup, Burnley away in the league, Man United at home, West Ham at home, Sheffield United away, Everton at home, Bournemouth away, Arsenal at home, Newcastle away, Leicester at home, and Crystal Palace away. Tottenham's running is not easy, so it's wide open. Basically, it's absolutely wide open. I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see how it goes. And today, I think for either of these teams, draws probably not really good enough at this point. I think draws aren't good enough. I think that they need to get wins. So it will be interesting. It's going to be interesting. It might be Spurs for the win, says Exis Boy Kadan. I think whichever way it goes, if you're Chelsea or Spurs, obviously, I mean, this is going to sound so obvious, it's ridiculous, but in relation to the chasing pack, today would be a brilliant win for whoever wins the game. For Chelsea, if they win, it gives them that buffer, even though they lost to United on Monday. If Spurs win, it gives them that boost into 4th place that they can build on. And I think Mourinho with 4th place could be an interesting proposition. Could he hold on to it? Because the whole season, it has always been, many people have said this, probably from about October time, maybe even September time, the top 4 looked like being the top 4. Liverpool, Leicester, Man City, Chelsea, they looked like they had it on lockdown. And Chelsea have just never really been able to get that extra 5 or 6 points to put them near Leicester and Man City, away from the chasing pack. They've always kept opening the door. But Chelsea have lost 9 games. If they lose today, they've lost 10, which would be a huge blow for them. Are Man United on TV tomorrow, says Bryn Holdcroft. They're not on telly tomorrow. Do you think Lampard would finish top 3 if he had United's team, says Abian Bandari? Probably not. And Mayank says that Spurs midfield is really good and Jose should not moan about his players not being good. I've said this before about Mourinho. I think with Mourinho, it's interesting, isn't it, how he was like this at United. He sort of a change in his mentality. I think he's always been a bit of a victim, but his victim mentality is a dangerous mentality, and we saw it at United, where he was forever moaning about his lack of resources, which is fine. He was correct to do that, but if you're making excuses publicly, are you not allowing your players to have that excuse in their mindset? And I think when he's saying, look, if I can get 4th place with Spurs, it'll be better than 2nd place with United a couple of years ago. I think that's sort of saying to Chelsea players, you know what? Sorry, to his Spurs players, I thought he was Chelsea manager there, that this is acceptable, that we probably won't get top 4. So, a lot of Spurs fans. Which way are we going, Spurs fans, Chelsea fans, or neutral fans? Which way are you going to go? You can put KOYS for Spurs, or what's Chelsea's one? UTC? Up the Chelsea? I don't think it is. I think they've got something better than that. But and I think it's COYB. Come on, you Blues. So it's COYS or COYB. Which way are you going to go? If they draw and United win tomorrow, we'll be 1 point between us and top 4, says Kahishi. For United, for Arsenal, for Spurs, sorry, not for Spurs, for United, Arsenal, Sheffield United, Everton, Arsenal, a draw is what you want today, without a shadow of a doubt. That's what I want today. That's what I think will happen. But draws are always hard to bet on. They're always hard to predict, but I do think it will end up being a draw. What do I think about Dele Alli, says Junior 14R. I'd be interested to see what a lot of you think about Dele Alli. I personally think Dele Alli is overrated. We've got a player at Manchester United called Jesse Lingard, who is massively overrated, and I think Dele Alli is the same. You know, he's got England caps, and he plays quite regularly for Spurs. I just don't rate Dele Alli. I thought he had a good season. Jesse Lingard had a good season, and then it's gone, you know, it's disappeared. They haven't got that consistency. So I don't rate Dele Alli. I think Spurs are a better team without him in it. But maybe some people don't agree with that. On the Fury versus Wilder fight, Charlie, I've just got a feeling that Tyson Fury doesn't look to me as if he's in the right mood. I just don't get that feeling that he's in that right mood. But that can be a dangerous thing with Fury because it's about what happens in the ring. I think Wilder is going to win. I do. I want Fury to win, but I think Wilder's going to win. Dele Alli is Lingard's sister, says Azzy Martinson. And Dele Alli has been awful for 3 seasons, says KOTD9. And think Spurs will win and Mourinho will celebrate like the Champions League, says Johan. Well, remember, this fixture is quite a recent fixture because Manchester United lost to Watford not long before Christmas, and so it's quite a quick turnaround fixture this is, considering we're only in mid-February, and obviously Chelsea did beat Spurs at Spurs, so if Chelsea were to win today, Lampard's taken 6 points off Mourinho, his old Jedi Master. So I think if you look at the league table, Chelsea are slightly ahead. But if you also look at the league table, 9 losses it's amazing, absolutely amazing for Chelsea. So I think that maybe Chelsea should be winning this game, but they're just so inconsistent. You can't say that. Who's the most overrated player in the Premier League, says Kean Roberts. I think Dele Alli's in the conversation, definitely. I think at the moment Jordan Henderson's probably overrated, and in an unfair way. I think Jordan Henderson's had a very good season, but all this talk about him being player of the year, it's a nonsense. Anybody who's actually watched any football this year will tell you that Jordan Henderson is not player of the year. It's some sort of weird mainstream media driven hype brigade to get Jordan Henderson to be player of the year. I feel sorry for people in 10, 20 years time who look back to the 2020 season and see that Jordan Henderson was player of the year, because he's just not. He's had a very good season, but he's not player of the year. He's not even in the top 3 players for Liverpool. So I think he's overrated in a different way. He's a good player, but he's not player of the year. But Dele Alli in a different way is overrated. I think people, consider Dele Alli to be a top player, and I don't think he is. Did you know that if the current point averages in the Premier League keep going, the gap between 4th and relegation will be 10 to 11 points, less than it was last season, says Azzy Martinson. I would love to know what the average points tally is to get 4th place, because my thinking is, when I think about it, because United have been hovering around 4th place a lot over the last few years, I think 72 points is normally what gets you 4th place. This year, 72 points is going to be way below that. If Chelsea are on 41 points right now, which they are, that's another 31 points and there's only 12 games to go. So to get 72 points, Chelsea need another 31 from 36. Never going to happen. So this is going to be the lowest top 4 4th place points tally in ages. And look, Liverpool have been great this season. They've been absolutely great. It's not their fault. But when people say this season has been dreadful, it's done with evidence. My team, Manchester United, have been dreadful. This is our worst season in the Premier League history, and we could get 4th place. Like for this not to be our worst season, we've got to beat 64 points, which is 26 points, which means 9 wins out of 12. We're not going to do it. But we could get 4th place with our worst ever Premier League season. So that tells you, unfortunately, Liverpool, you have been brilliant, but this is the worst Premier League season we've ever had, because so many teams have been so bad. And we will definitely get a very low points tally for 4th place. Did you hear about the Maguire injury news, says Mr. Bilby? I didn't. I've not heard this at all. So that is news to me, but thanks for the contribution. Faison Chowdhury says it's his birthday. Happy birthday. And Chelsea's possible points tally is 76. Well, you can take 10 off straight away. They ain't getting that many. No way. And Mitch Cummins says the average points for 4th is 72.25. Yabba-doo. Yabba-dabba-doo. I did say that, didn't I? I said I reckon it's around 72 points. So there you go. Although Bargaff is saying it's 68.24. But I still think it'll be lower than that. I think it's going to be very low this season. This could be the most boring game of the season, says XV. I hope not. But whether it's boring or not, I think ultimately it's a game of football for 90 minutes. And how the game goes in that 90 minutes is going to have a massive, massive impact. I mean, would you go as far as to say that if Chelsea lose, are they out of the top 4 race? If Spurs lose, are they out of the top 4 race? Well, quite obviously they're not going to be, because if Chelsea lose, they'd still only be 2 points behind Spurs, who would go up to 4th. If Chelsea win, Spurs would be 4 points off Chelsea, and they'd still be in a race for top 4. But I think it's a game where if you win it, you're definitely in with a good chance of getting 4th place. If you lose it, you've got a bit of a mental block, momentum-wise, to come back from. But you know, I will guarantee you this: if Chelsea do win today, you can absolutely guarantee that they will open the door again. They will. Your prediction for the United game tomorrow, says Karen Shaw. I think Manchester United will win tomorrow. I've said that for a long time. I wouldn't say it with any conviction or confidence, but I just think that, you know, I felt we were going to beat Chelsea on Monday, and a lot of people said we wouldn't. And I just think we're going to beat Watford tomorrow. Whether we're going to play well or not, different matter. But I just feel that United are going to start to pick up results now. So, yeah, I think we will win. Exis Boy Kidan says that Tottenham are going to win this 3-1. And Hope Borum says it will be 1-1. And who is the most underrated player in the Premier League? We've done that, trans guy. And Captain Presh says, thoughts on Chelsea versus Manchester United? Well, I think that's really relevant, actually, because we're about to watch Chelsea versus Spurs. What I would say is, as a United fan, we deserve to win that game. There's nothing wrong with going away from home, like Spurs might tonight, to a top side like Chelsea, and playing in a way that you do keep it tight defensively and you try and nick a goal on the break. There's nothing wrong with that, and that's what we did against Chelsea on Monday night. Who was the better footballing side? Chelsea. But I've seen Chelsea do that a lot this season. I've seen Chelsea be the best football side and lose a game of football. So Chelsea's problem on Monday was that they had the chances to score goals. They had a player up front who couldn't hit the ocean from a boat. He was awful, Batshuayi. But Batshuayi is an awful player. I don't get why Chelsea bought him. He's not good enough. He misses too many chances. So I think Chelsea have got... in fact, I tweeted it yesterday. I think if Chelsea were to lose 3 of the next 4 games and he got the sack, Lampard, I think that would be wrong. I don't think Lampard getting the sack is the way forward for Chelsea. You've had 2 transfer bans effectively because you didn't buy in January, you couldn't buy last summer. You've got a young team, you've got a new manager, you lost Eden Hazard, but what I can see as an outsider is Chelsea do play good football. And if you can't sack Lampard before giving him the chance to bring in some players, because he's not had that opportunity. And I think next year, Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, Tomori, Reece James will be better players for this year. On top of that, let's see what he buys. On top of that, the way they play football is a good way of playing football. So I think I would hope that Lampard would not get sacked. And a lot of people who are Chelsea fans said to me yesterday he's not going to get the sack. But he definitely shouldn't do, because the circumstances don't dictate it. They are ridiculously inconsistent though. And you do get to a point, as we've got it with United, where you say, well, look, whatever about the future vision, the results have been bad enough to get him the sack. And the results have been bad for Lampard. There's no question about that. But sometimes you've got to look beyond the results. And this is something that Solskjaer tells United fans all the time. You've got to look beyond the results. But if you look beyond the results with Chelsea, the way that they play football is very, very good. If you look beyond the results with Manchester United, the way that we play football is very, very poor. So I just think there is a vision there with Chelsea. But this is really interesting. I've been excited about this game for a couple of weeks now. I just think it's so interesting because it's such a massive part of the top 4 race. Mark, do you see the Premier League next season being the same as this season, says Shaka Phillips? Look, Shaka, I think that is the ultimate question, isn't it? I would hope that Man City sort themselves out. I would hope that United sort themselves out. I would hope that Chelsea gets stronger. I would hope that Arsenal gets stronger. And I would hope that Spurs get stronger, because having a top 6 that are strong will stop a team like Liverpool blitzing the Premier League again. You should not be in a position where 20, how many games have we had played? There's 12 to go, so 26 games have been played and Liverpool have won 25. That's ridiculous. And applaud them, because I don't think we'll see it happen again. But a lot of it has come down to the fact that the Premier League is just not strong this year. So I hope it is stronger because we get a better league. I want to see Liverpool losing to Chelsea. I want to see Chelsea losing to City. I want to see City losing to United. I want to see a competitive league. That's what everybody wants to see. So I hope it's better, but there's a lot of eyes on everybody else to do better next season. Please do smash a like on the video if you're watching, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, we're trying to get up to 123,000 today, so bottom right hand corner to do that. We're currently 100 off, so if you subscribe, bottom right hand corner, we will get 123 today, which would be great. And please share the video as well. You can share it on Twitter, you can share it on Facebook. This is going to be a cracking game, so I want, this is a cracking channel as well. We do watch-alongs on here. Did 2 Champions League games in midweek. We'll do 2 next week, which will be Man City, Real Madrid, and Chelsea versus Bayern Munich. Very excited about that. Might be doing Arsenal Everton tomorrow afternoon as well. Everybody's welcome on here. I know I do the United stand, obviously a United fan, but I do watch a lot of other football as well, and this channel is about that. We'll be doing the Euros in the summer as well. Bit of FIFA stuff going on, bit of topical videos, as a bit of Premier League preview, all lots going on. So please do share the video, share button underneath, share it on Twitter and Facebook. Let's grow the channel. So Let's go. Mark, the Premier League may not be the best this season, but it still attracts players to it. A chance to perform on a big stage, says Purple Patrick TY24. I still think I've got to. I don't want that to be the message that I'm sending across. I think it's been a weak Premier League this season. I don't think anybody would deny that for a moment. But do I think the Premier League is the best in the world? Yes, I do. Yes, I do, everybody. I think that I think that the Premier League still is the best in the world. And that's for many reasons. It's the most entertaining. It's got, the most razzmatazz, whatever I haven't said razzmatazz for about 20 years. And all that jazz hands. No, it is. It's a fantastic league. It's just this year, it's just not been as competitive as we would like it to be. But there's always somewhere in the Premier League that's interesting. Whether it's the title race last year between Liverpool and Man City, the relegation race was a bit boring. This year, title race is a bit boring. Race for top 4 is very exciting. And the relegation battle is exciting. So there's always... What you don't want is what we nearly had was Liverpool are easily going to win the league. The top four is easily going to be Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City and Leicester. And the relegation battle's over in April. That would be a boring league. We have got aspects to this league that are still very interesting. And I'll tell you what, there's plenty of people worldwide who are watching this game today and are interested in this top four race. And for those people who've joined us a bit late, if results go the right way today, 9th and 4th could be separated by 2 points. 9th and 4th. That's, that's just how exciting it could. Sorry, Everton play tomorrow, so it could be tomorrow that happens. But yeah, it's really, really exciting to see how it's going to build out. And I hope that United are the team that's left standing at the end, because this is a reflection of the season itself. You've got Manchester United presiding over their worst season ever in Premier League history, yet comfortably in a top four race. So it's a funny old world, and it's a funny old season so far, how it's going. But I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. My prediction is a draw. Do you think Kepa will go in the summer? Says Snuzmerkin. I think Kepa is a player that is massively overrated. I really don't rate him. I don't think he's played that well this season. I never understood why he had David De Gea's shirt. I don't really get that at all. I think every time and I don't watch Chelsea every week, but every time I watch Kepa, I think he always makes a mistake. When is El Clasico, Akil KB? Just a couple of shout outs as well. If you want to do a super chat, $sign at the bottom of the thing. We do read out all our super chats. I know some channels don't read out all the super chats. We do read all out the super chats. So, well, I tell a lie. 1 or 2 might miss through, but we try to read all of the super chats. It's easier on this channel to do it. And also, you can become a member of not the United Stand. That's football. From now on, you can join and be a member. If you are a member, you get a little badge next to your name. I can't see if we've got any members at the moment because we've only been running it for a short period of time. We have got a member. PMV Patrick says, "What's your opinion on recently promoted teams having success in the Premier League for the past few years?" What a good question from a member. And if PMV Patrick can just put a few more comments in, people can see what you get next to your name when you're a member, and that changes colour every month, your little badge. So Karshin Nar says, "I think Chelsea's going to pull ahead of Man United due to no transfer ban, and their owners will spend money in the summer." Big up from South Africa. I genuinely do think that Chelsea are on the cusp of something exciting if they bring in the right players. And Nick P says, "Thanks for the super chats, by the way. This is a follow-on from what you've been talking about, but do other teams in the world have fan channels? If they do, then they must be pretty small." In the fan channel world, it's Arsenal and Manchester United, let's be honest. And Liverpool. Red Men are quite good. I would say that Arsenal Fan TV is very different to the United Stand, and the United Stand is very different to Red Men TV. Man City did have one. They used to share an office with a United fan channel. That's how shit they were. And then they closed it down because they had no fans. I think clubs have individuals, don't they? Like Expressions does it for Spurs. Chelsea have got a fan channel as well. They did have two. I mean, look, it's hard work to run a fan channel. I run the United Stand. It's hard work. And some people don't want to put that work in. But I think they've got a place. And I think I would love to see every football club have one. But going back to that question from PMV Patrick about teams being promoted and coming into the Premier League and doing quite well, I predicted Wolves would do well. The infrastructure at Wolves was there. You can predict a team that's going to come in and be a team that stays for a while. I think Sheffield United are the exception to the rule. I thought Sheffield United would be a team that got relegated. They've been absolutely fantastic. In a sadistic way, I would love Leicester and Sheffield United to get top four with Man City and Liverpool, because I just think it would serve United, Chelsea and Arsenal and Spurs right for thinking you're always going to be in the top four fighting for it. And, you know, Sheffield United have been fantastic. I don't think it's going to happen. But, I mean, look, Norwich have come up and not done great, have they? Villa are struggling. Sheffield United have been the exception to the rule. They've been absolutely fantastic. And but the thing about Sheffield United is, and we are 5 minutes from kick-off, Luca, is that the thing with Sheffield United is that they are a team that has been ridiculously consistent. They're playing against Brighton at home today. That should be a home banker. And even I'm like, I don't think Sheffield United will win. I don't expect Sheffield United to win every week. And they tend to win. So if you look at Sheffield United's fixtures, they're playing today. They're not playing next week because I think they're playing whoever they were going to play are in the Europa League, are in the Carabao Cup. So they play again in 2 weeks and they're home to Norwich. So there's 6 points there for Sheffield United and they'll have a game in hand on most teams. So it's I hope Sheffield United do keep winning because I feel almost ashamed as a United fan to say I hope Sheffield United drop points today. I don't hope Sheffield United drop points today. I think we've dropped so many points that we should not be hoping Sheffield United drop points. That's just, that's just small time as far as I'm concerned. I would love Sheffield United to win today anyway because I actually, call me unfair or whatever, I just want Brighton to get relegated. I do. I just think they're a boring team, and I know Potter has done a good job there. Trotter. That's something else. I think he's done a good job there, but I just find Brighton a really boring team. And when Liverpool are playing Brighton or City are playing Brighton, it's a guaranteed 3 points. And I would love to see Leeds come up because I think Leeds are a team that I would predict that would do well. Leeds are not going to go straight back down, I don't think. Whereas I think I can't think who's top of the West Brom. They could come back down. They're a team that could come back down. But I don't think Leeds will because they're a big club, and I think that that's the sort of club that I'd happily swap Leeds for Brighton. I'd happily swap Bournemouth for a Sheffield Wednesday or a Forest. A club that's a big club that has actually got an attendance over 30,000. I mean Bournemouth's attendance is like 10,000, isn't it? It's just not. I think I've got nothing against small clubs, but I just think it's time for a change. It's time for a change, so it is. Anyway, talking about change, time for a change of pace because the game is about to start. It's 4 minutes to kick off actually, and I'm going to go with a draw in this. I've spoken enough about why, but both teams playing with the 3 centre backs. Chelsea may be playing a 3-4-3. Spurs maybe playing more of a 3-5-2 or a 5-3-2. There may not be many goals in this game. Chelsea have struggled to score goals, and it's a Mourinho Spurs side, isn't it? So they may be defensively quite tight. But I do fancy it being a draw. Please do subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, you're all very, very welcome. Remember, you can do your super chats through the $sign, and also please do share the video through the share button. Let's have a look if I've missed any super chats before I start taking some normal ones. Okay. Thoughts on Barca buying a player outside the transfer window, says Michael Lucy. Well, but Chelsea did that with Ziyech. You can do it for the summer. Draw would be ideal for United, says Abdiel. City ban is not finalised. It might not happen, says Dot. No, I know. I think everybody needs to assume that City ban isn't going to happen because it may well happen, but you can't bank on it. You can't think, fifth will be good enough. You can't do that. Otton's 11. I really hope you're right on this. He says I'm going for 4-3 to Spurs. Well, actually 4-4. I'd love a high-scoring draw. I mean, that's what we want. I don't want a boring 0-0 like Maro 1 says. I do not want that. And how good would a Premier League Legends tournament be? Draft picked, says Kian Roberts. Probably not a lot. Probably not that good if they've let themselves go a bit. I used to watch something in the late 80s. It used to be on just before Christmas. It was called the Manchester Soccer Six. And it was actually Division 1 teams because the Premier League didn't exist there. So the Premier League was called Division 1. And it was basically a 6-a-side tournament. And all the top teams would be there. And some of the teams didn't send their best players, but most of them did. And it was great. Imagine that. Imagine if the Premier League just shut for 3 weeks and on one of the weekends they had like a 5-a-side tournament in London at Wembley or something like that, and every team was entered. It'd be great. 10-minute games, brilliant. Love it. Absolutely love it. They could probably make a lot of money from it as well. Anyway, Giroud's going to be interesting. He's on my screen at the moment, but Giroud's going to be an interesting player in this game. I mean, Giroud is a threat. He scored against United, but he was offside. But it's his lack of pace that I think could be a problem. But massive, massive game. And it's a massive game for so many people. Fans of the Premier League, yes. Fans of Manchester United, Sheffield United, Arsenal, Everton, Wolves, yes. Spurs, Chelsea fans, yes. The race for 4th place, it's on. Massively on. And it's Lampard against Mourinho as well. So let's see how it goes. I think it's going to be a draw. I think whoever gets the win has got a massive, massive, massive chance of getting 4th spot. Draw opens the door to everybody else. And that's what we're hoping for today. Both teams playing with 3 centre-backs. The referee's about to kick off. Let's see who gets the momentum in this game. Will home advantage count for Chelsea? Remember, they lost to Manchester United quite embarrassingly on Monday night. Can they find some form, or will they lose again and inflict themselves their 10th loss of the season out of 27? It's a hell of a loss record for a team that's in 4th. Sinclair Connery says, I'm sitting watching this in the sun in Fuerteventura. Love the channel, Mark. Love what you do. Well, lucky you, mate, because the weather's been crap here again today. But Chelsea on the ball. I'm sure VAR is going to raise its head. We've not seen that at all yet, have we? But please smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. And share the video through the share button. But we're up and running anyway. Let's see how it goes. Just having a quick look at the Chelsea team. I'm not so sure that they're playing 3 centre-backs. I'm just trying to get a grip of this. They might just have somebody who's not on screen. No, they're not. They're playing a back 4, it looks like it, because Reece James is playing very advanced and Azpilicueta's playing more as a right back. So I think Reece James is playing wider. It looks like a 4-2-3-1 at the moment, with Reece James as a more advanced right player. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Not really easy to see what Spurs are doing at the moment because they're defending a lot, but there's definitely a back 5 there. Alonso with the cross. Vertonghen gets rid of it. Expect Chelsea to have a lot of the ball. But yeah, Reece James is definitely playing a lot higher up the pitch. Radmagon says it's a back 3 for Chelsea. I'm not convinced it is. It doesn't look like a back 3 to me because Rudiger and Christensen are very central, and Azpilicueta and Alonso are hugging the touchlines. It's not a back 3 for Chelsea, it's a back 2. And Mourinho will need to adapt to that quickly because he would not have expected that. Reece James here. And they're pushing their fullbacks on as well. So yeah, this is definitely looking like Jorginho and Kovacic holding the midfield with Barkley and Mount ahead of them. Alonso left back, but playing very high up the pitch. Reece James playing very high up the pitch. Azpilicueta playing high up the pitch. They're just playing very high up the pitch. It could well be 3 centre-backs. I think we're getting a little bit lost there. But lineups, says somebody. So Caballero's in goal for Chelsea. They've got Christensen, Rudiger, Azpilicueta, Alonso, Reece James, Jorginho, Kovacic, Mount, Barkley and Giroud. Spurs have got Lloris in goal. Alderweireld, Davinson Sanchez and Vertonghen all play. Tanganga and Ben Davies as the fullbacks. And Dembele, Winks and Lo Celso as the midfield. And then Bergwijn and Lucas Moura as the 2 attackers in the side. But interesting. Good start. Come on Chelsea, says Simon Galashjachi. And Spurs are defending well, says Radmagan. And Kunal says it'll be 3-1 to Tottenham. Jose's a defensive manager. Don't expect that many goals, says Stuart Hayler. And Super Leeds TV is currently in Leeds. What a surprise there. Please keep sharing the video, everyone. We've got 3,400 watching. Let's keep moving it up. Subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. But what this game needs is a bit like when we watched Spurs RB Leipzig on Wednesday night. We need a goal, an early goal. And if you want the game to be interesting, we probably need a Chelsea goal because Spurs will get a goal and sit back. Mourinho is basically going to do what Ollie did on Monday night. He's going to play defensive and try and hurt Chelsea with the break. When is the El Clasico Nashad Ranguni? What time? What place? What time? What day? That's always helpful to know. Nice little ball into the flank by Barkley. Alonso's not played a lot of football recently. I mean, a lot of people quite... Oh, that's a poor ball by Alonso as well. You can sort of see why. Lucas Moura skips past Azpilicueta, but Azpilicueta's back on him. And I think it's a free kick there. I don't answer Celtic or Rangers, Michael Friend, so you can keep asking it all you like. I won't answer the question. And Zach Teller, I'm removing you from the channel, but have you ever thought that the reason these things happen is because somebody produces and pays for it? Just jog on, you little cretin. And are you sick? Says the phenomenal one. I've had a bit of a cold. It's starting to get a little bit better. Yeah, I agree with that. I think Kean Roberts is right. El Clasico is not as good as it was when it was Ronaldo versus Messi. Do you think Scott will play tomorrow? Says Baby Yoda Sonny. McTominay, I doubt he'll play tomorrow. I mean, you'd be rushing him back. 1st of March at 8 PM is the El Clasico, which must be a Sunday. Saucy Dave, what do you think about how Arteta's done? And opinions on Lo Celso, says BGG with a super chat there. Thanks for the super chat, pal. I think Arteta at Arsenal's done quite well. I think consistency is always the key. How will he do over the next couple of months will be interesting with Arteta. But he's got a big job on there. Much the same as Lampard. I think he'll get them playing good football, but he's going to need better players to do it. So that's going to be very interesting with him. Lo Celso looks good. He looks like a decent player. I think you've got to be very careful with any player that you bring in from abroad. I mean, Fred has been a prime example of this. His first season didn't look that good. This season he's really adapted. I think the most important thing is for them to play games consistently. You've almost got to just say, well, look, 3 or 4 games in a row, they might be putting in average performances, but they should get better and better. So I think as long as Spurs keep playing Lo Celso, he will get better and better. But he looks good. I don't think he's done terribly. And he's on the ball here, trying to feed in Bergwijn, but Rudiger cuts across, who I think is a very good defender, Rudiger, by the way. Liam Edwards says, we all know you miss Mourinho as Manchester United manager. I genuinely don't. I genuinely don't. Even though we've got Ollie, I don't miss Mourinho. And Holy Moly says, can you give a shout out to Crumlin United FC? Well, there's a shout out for Crumlin United FC. I presume, is that Crumlin in Dublin? So a foul there on Jorginho, and the Dugout Football Channel with the super chat. Thanks, Doug. He says, what did you make of Barcelona signing Martin Braithwaite? Legends are not allowed to replace him either. I've not really seen anything about it. I saw his unveil video where he did some crap skills. Don't know anything about the player, and I don't know how Barcelona were allowed to do it either. I'd have to listen to what you lot have got to say about that. I don't really know much about this. IDK, Chelsea versus Bayern predictions. Well, I think Spurs are out. I think losing 1-0, they're out. I know a lot of Spurs fans think, well, and quite rightly, why should you think that? Bit of a mistake here, Bergwijn. Good little play between Ndembele, Lo Celso, and Moura and Bergwijn, and they've won a corner. This is where Chelsea have got to be different. I think Spurs are out. 1-0 loss at home in midweek in the Champions League to RB Leipzig, who were the better footballing side as well. So I think Spurs are out. I think Chelsea will lose to Bayern Munich as well. I think that's And I don't think that's a... It's always a weird thing when you say getting knocked out of the Champions League in the last 16 is good, so you can focus on getting back in the Champions League again. It's something Arsenal did for years. Like, surely qualifying for the Champions League is to allow you to be good in the Champions League. So it's almost a bit weird with Spurs, isn't it? Oh, it'll be a good thing if we go out of the Champions League so we can focus on qualifying for the Champions League. Hello, you're in it. But I do think Bayern Munich will be too good for the for Chelsea. And I think Chelsea just need a lot of players back. I think if Chelsea could get 3 or 4 of their players back, like Kante, who's now going to be out for another month, Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, Tammy Abraham back fit, then maybe Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Lucas Moura, good save by Caballero there. That's the first chance of the game. That was good play by Spurs, who've actually looked quite good in the last few minutes. Shot at the edge of the box by Lucas Moura, and Caballero made the save. I don't know whether he made a good connection though with that. I don't know how good the save was. We're going to see it back now, but Lucas Moura winning the ball back. Spurs. It's Lo Celso who feeds Moura in. 1-2 with Bergwijn. Good shot, good save. And that's good to see from Spurs. That'll be something that's encouraging. He hits it quite well. Caballero makes a good save. That'll be encouraging from Spurs there to see the link-up play between Bergwijn and Lucas Moura and Lo Celso. You know, if they can do that, they can score goals. If Jose wins the Prem with Spurs, will you apologise, says Mohamed Ismail. Yeah. He won't, though. He's got no chance. He'll never win the spot title with Spurs. I'll tell you that now. Apparently United are signing Patrick Bamford. Bloody hope not. Will United or Arsenal win the title in the next 10 years was a question that just went through there. And good save at the other end now. That was a good chance. So we've had 10 minutes and we've had 2 good shots in the last 2 minutes. Lloris saving, I think this is a better save from Lloris. Alonso feeds it. What a run that is by Mason Mount. Lovely ball. Shoots from an angle. Lloris has got to save it because it's the angle he's shooting from. He shouldn't score. But it's a good shot by Mount and it's a good save from Lloris and it's gone for a corner. Low down on his post. Reece James with the cross. Headed by Giroud. Goal kick. Draw would be very good for a lot of people, yeah. I'm not doing a Fury versus Wilder Watchalong Roger Merlino. So, yeah, good start to the game. Chance for Lucas Moura, chance for Mason Mount. We want to see chances. We want to be entertained. It's a corner for Chelsea, actually. Cross comes in again from Reece James. Goes out for a goal kick at the other side of the pitch. We've got nearly 4,000 people watching, so please do keep sharing if you're watching underneath the screen. There's a share button. You can share it on Twitter and Facebook. Thanks everyone for watching. And are you doing a watch along for El Clasico, Joe Max? I don't think so. If it's on a Sunday night at 8 o'clock, because I normally do the United stand then. So I'll have to double check when it is going to be. And if Rashford had stayed fit, do you think he would be up for Player of the Season? Says Niall19. I think if Rashford had stayed fit, United probably would have definitely got top 4, but I still think we can do it. Nick P, do you think the assistant manager role is dying out a bit or has changed? Sir Alex relied on them. They used to have really influential roles, says Nick P. Jody Morris has got a very influential role at Chelsea if you actually do your research. I just think I don't think the role has changed. I think that they still have a massive role to play because a manager cannot be the face of press conferences, the authoritarian, whatever, and also be the person who's arranging all the training at that. Barkley. Ooh, that was a good shot. Just goes wide. Turns, runs at goal, shoots from just outside the box, and it goes wide. But good space here for Barkley. Drives into it, gets the shot off. 2 metres wide. But good effort. So yeah, I don't think the assistant manager role has changed. I just don't think it gets the publicity it used to get. Still a very important role. Most of the the assistant coach will have a massive thing to do with the training. But this game's bubbling quite well at the moment. You know, Spurs haven't been totally defensive. They look like they can cause problems for Chelsea when they get the ball in that final third. Obviously, when they don't have the ball in the final third, Giroud should be offside there. Good save with the feet. Barkley, post, Giroud, goal! 1-0 to Chelsea. I don't know whether there's going to be an offside on the initial shot, but... well, it's a good goal. I mean, Giroud gets played in. I thought he was offside. Lloris makes the save. Barkley hits the follow-up onto the bar. It comes back to Giroud. I think he should lay it off, and he shoots it into the bottom corner. Mourinho's not so sure. I think VAR may have a part to play here. We will see. His arm could be offside. Is your arm offside? I think it's ridiculous. Good afternoon, Mark. Do you think United will win the league in the next 10 years? I know you're watching the boxing tonight, says Jay Singh. 10 years is a long time. 10 years is a long time. I will watch the boxing tonight. If Giroud's offside for his arm, the game is dead. This deserves to be a goal. It's such a good goal. Barkley's shot deserves to be a goal. If this is offside, it's a disgrace. Absolute disgrace. What a finish by Giroud. Ross Barkley's very unlucky, but what a finish by Giroud. Bottom corner. I don't know whether it goes in off the arse, but VAR is going to have a part to play in this. A lot of people are saying they think it's offside. Let's see. Well, Lampard's getting the crowd up there, but... oh, it's given! Given. Well, the interesting thing about that is, why have we not been shown on TV the offside? Wow, that is interesting. We did not get to see the VAR, which I think's a bit dubious, isn't it? You know, are we part of this? Are we paying to watch this? BT, Sky Sports, Premier League? Do we not, as fans and viewers and payers, get to see the whole story? Are we being kept information back now? What's that all about? What's that all about? Why don't we get to see the lines? I don't know what that's all about. I'm glad the goal was given. I thought it was a good goal, but when you watch it back without the lines and everything, Giroud looks like he's offside. But I think it's... somebody will tell me your arm can't be offside. I don't know. God knows what the rules are with offsides anymore. But it's 1-0 to Chelsea. I'm about to change the score for you. In the context of the game, this is good. This is very good. We need to... you know, you want an early goal in the game. We've got a goal in the first 20 minutes. It opens up the game perfectly. So from that point of view, I'm happy. I thought the goal, if it had been ruled out for offside, it would have been an anti-football decision anyway. But I think as a viewer, you should also get to see the goal, and you should get to see the lines, and you should get to be a part of that discussion. And the fact that they haven't done that for us is, I think, a little bit wrong. But it is 1-0 to Chelsea. And they deserved it, because even the follow-up from Ross Barkley, the good save from Lloris, the follow-up from Barkley hits the bar, and then the finish from Giroud. You know, give him a chance in the box, and Giroud's very good. In the right system, he's a good player, isn't he? So Mourinho's up against it now. Can Spurs come back? Well, yes, they can. Of course they can come back, but they're going to have to... get the skates on a little bit and start playing a little bit more expansive, because at the moment Chelsea are controlling the ball. And Reece James coming forward here very strong. He's giving a free kick against him. I don't know how that is a free kick against him there. But disappointing from the Premier League and BT Sports to not show the offside back. I think. You know, I'm sure we'll see it at half-time. Some of us would like to see it now. Let's go to the Super Chats in the comments. Johnny Wilson says, I really don't like the ex-legends becoming managers theme. Even though they were good at playing, it doesn't mean they can manage. I think you've got to be a good manager to be able to take it on, Johnny. And I think Lampard is a good manager. I saw him play against United as Derby manager last season, again against Mourinho, and I thought he was good. Chelsea playing well, says Joe Bailey. And Tottenham are holding on here, says CGC13. Will I be watching Leicester Man City? I don't think I will. I don't think I will. And Clerk Allison says, I was the guy who said you're a better presenter than Jim White. Glad you liked it. Jim White, let's go live to see what VAR has got to say, Natalie. Little ball over the top there. Well, Chelsea have got what Chelsea couldn't get against United, which is a goal. They've got a lead here. They need to build on that lead. They do. There is a timer. There is a timer, sorry. There you go. I've just I'd put the score sheet over the timer, that was all. I want a draw, says Sprinkles. We all want a draw. Well, Chelsea fans don't want a draw. Spurs fans would probably take a draw at this moment, but everybody who's chasing fourth spot wants a draw. A Chelsea win would be... it just shows you how important United winning was, because imagine if Chelsea beaten United and Spurs. They'd have top four on lockdown. So we want a draw as United fans today. But Chelsea been good today. I think Chelsea are a good team. They just struggled with people not having the not having a good striker the other day. We don't know whether it was offside for Chelsea. We presume it wasn't because VAR has given the goal, but we didn't get to visually see it at all, which I think was a bit bad. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. Keep sharing the video. Absolutely very grateful for everyone tuning in today. You can do your super chats through the $sign. We'll read those out. But Spurs at the moment not really offering that much. There was a shot from Lucas Moura, but they need to get higher up the pitch. Spurs, they're penning themselves in, and Chelsea are picking up the ball too easy, and they've done it again here. And I think Harry Winks could find himself getting a yellow card. Yeah. Yeah, Harry Winks caught in possession, had to drag the player down. I think it was Ross Barkley. No, it was Jorginho. Pulls him down. Yellow card. Marcus S says, do you think it will be top 5 for Champions League? Well, look, if you get 5th place, you might get Champions League football. But I think I think Man City will get away with it, to be honest with you. Cross comes in. Spurs get rid. No, they don't. Alonso. Oh, my life. That was nearly a worldie. Off his right foot as well. Comes to me on the edge of the box from a cross. It's bouncing, he volleys it, and we're right behind it with the camera, and it's gonna. I tell you what, if that had gone in, it's not far off, about a metre over from the top corner. It would have been an absolutely. Imagine if that had gone in. I think Lloris has probably got it covered anyway, but if that had gone in, it would have been up for goal of the season. Tony Yeboah style on the rewind, vintage. 7 attempts from Chelsea to 1 from Spurs. Tells you the story of the game. Next goal is always a cliche, but next goal is going to be important in this game. Chelsea certainly have a foundation and recognisable pattern of play. Any idea the situation with Kepa? Very expensive player, says 6782 Anthony. But remember, Kepa is not a player that Lampard bought. So, and I think with Kepa, he's always, as I said, I mean, look, I keep an eye on Kepa because obviously he's De Gea's competition for the Spanish goalkeeper shirt, but I don't rate Kepa. Every time I watch Kepa, and even going back to that final where he refused to come off the pitch for Sarri, I think he undermines. I think he's got a very high opinion of himself, but I don't rate Kepa, and I think Lampard's done the right thing getting him out. He's on the bench, and he's been terrible this season, says Isaiah Edwards. So 25 minutes gone. Chelsea actually looking quite comfortable at the moment. I don't see Spurs getting top four, and I don't think they're going to get top four because of no Kane and Son. I don't think it's anything to do with that. I just think they're not a very good team. This is good play though. Oh, it was good play by Ndembele, and then he lost it. But these games, it's a London derby. These games, they don't go to form. It's not like Chelsea getting an early goal against someone like a Brighton at home, where you think, when's the second going to happen? This game will have... Ooh, referee. No yellow card. Went through the back of Barkley, but he just gives a foul. Yeah, Phenomenus makes a good point. Kepa is the most expensive goalkeeper of all time. I think De Gea has been all right apart from Watford, says Johnny Wilson. Yeah, I think De Gea's back on form, really. Has anybody seen my... I do a show on the United Stand now. I'm going to give it a bit of a shout out. It's called the United Stand Chart Show. So every Saturday morning we put a video out of the top 10 players of the week. So it's a bit like Top of the Pops for football, really. And I think De Gea is still in the top 10. Give it a watch on the United Stand after this. It's good. I love doing it. It's got a serious element to it as well, because you are rewarding those players that are doing well and outing the players that are crap. Surprise, surprise, Pereira, Mata, Lingard have never been in the top 10. Probably not even in the top 40. Top of the flops, says Google bought me. We were going to call that, but actually over the last couple of weeks United have been alright, haven't they? So, but Spurs have got to find a way into this game. I'm looking forward to half time to see what that goal was, whether it was onside or not. Obviously it was onside, but here's a question for you. Are you offside with any part of your body now, or is there a rule about your hand can't be offside? It's got to be your shoulder or something like that. Can somebody tell me sensibly, like, what is the offside rule? Is it any part of your body, or have they changed it? Villa Gamer says, if United get fifth, won't they get Champions League football next season as Man City are banned? Potentially we could. But the Chelsea and Mount are down here at the moment. Well, this is quite interesting. Lo Celso has kicked out at Mason Mount, and if there is a VAR review of that, which I don't think there is going to be, it could be quite interesting. Top 10 would work well on this channel, says Ashley GR. Yeah, I'm thinking of doing it on this channel. It's just very hard, though, because you've got to watch so much football to do the top 10, whereas just watching United, it's easy. VAR doesn't want to review the Lo Celso thing, then, which is probably quite consistent, although Chelsea fans will probably be a bit annoyed because Maguire probably should have been sent off on Monday, and Lo Celso does kick out there, but, you know. Sonia Gup says, you're only offside if you're allowed to score with it. So, yeah, he wasn't offside. Giroud's arm was offside. So your shoulder can be offside, your arse can be offside, your legs can be offside, your head can be offside, but your hands and arm can't be offside. Only legal goal-scoring body parts count, says Bada Bing Schving. Well, Bada Bing, Bada Boom. You're absolutely spot on with that. Well, thank you very much for educating everybody in the live comments. And a lot of people have said that as well. Chelsea still the better team at the moment, moving it around. Barkley a bit wasteful there, but does well to win it back. And then a free kick. Are you doing Arsenal versus Everton watch-along? Says Zachary. Yeah, you don't need to... Right, Zachary, you're gone. You're getting a timeout. You don't need to ask the same question a million times. It's annoying for everybody, so you've been deleted. Sorry. You can comment in 5 minutes. 3 players you would take at United from the 2 starting 11s, says Phil Jones. From here, I'm always been a big... Giroud's just shot from 35 yards, well over the bar. I've always been a big fan of Kante, but he's not starting. So from these starting 11s, who would I take? It's difficult because I really do like Reece James, but we've got Wan-Bissaka, so why would you take a right back? I think Lloris is a decent goalkeeper, but we've got De Gea. I'd probably take Rudiger. I do like Rudiger. I mean, whether he'd get in the team ahead of Bailly and Maguire... Probably would, actually, to be fair. So I would take Rudiger. Left backs, no. Centre backs, Rudiger, yeah. Midfielders, I like Kovacic. I probably would take Kovacic. Not saying he would start, but I would take Kovacic. So I'd take Rudiger, Kovacic, and I'd probably take Moura or Bergwijn, to be honest. Or Jorginho's a good one, but I think you don't want to take 2 midfielders. Although United could do with 2 midfielders, so yeah. Opinions on Tanganga, says David. I think he's good. I think he'll get better. This is obviously a good question because Sonia Gupta says Rudiger, Bergwijn and Chelsea. And who do I think is going to win, Jack Wright? Well, Spurs are on the attack here. Good tackle by Christensen. I think if Chelsea get the next goal, Spurs ain't going to get back into this. Dominic K says that Lucas Moura is just a bold Willian. Imagine if you did stick a wig on Lucas Moura, a Willian wig. I wonder if he would play exactly the same way. I like Lucas Moura. I think he's just a little bit inconsistent, but flair players always are. They very rarely play well every week, and if they do play well every week, you've got Ronaldo, you've got Messi. So Kante's not actually playing Pedro Proc, so you can't pick him. It was 3 players from the current 2 11s who you'd take for your team. You don't have to be a United fan to answer that question as well. You know, you could be an Arsenal fan. Don't have to just be a United or Arsenal fan either. My score prediction was 1-1. Exit stands. And it still could be 1-1. I think Spurs are going to have to improve. A lot. Their passings are all over the place at the moment. Chelsea are flying into a lot of tackles, showing a lot of energy. Currently, Chelsea on course for 60 points for 4th. If they had the same in any other previous 6 seasons, they would finish out of the top 6, says Avishik Chatterjee. Again, we were talking about this at the start. And Mark, thoughts on This Is England, says Ellie. I've never watched it. Never watched This Is England. You know what? I think everybody's like this. I think somebody has always got... Oh, here we go. Lucas Moura shoots onto the roof of the net, deflected by Azpilicueta. Bit of a chance there for Spurs. We'll come back to that point. Zed Jamie says, I'd take Ndembele definitely. I think in the summer I would have done Zed Jamie, but Ndembele's not had a great start to his time. Corner from Spurs there, flicked on, and a good save by Caballero from Davinson Sanchez. That was actually quite close. He had to make a really good save, Caballero. Kepa would have let that in. And another corner, and they've got it clear here. Chelsea got a chance to break. He's got to switch that to the right. He's not going to get a chance to do it. Good play that by Ndombele. Or was it Bergwijn? I think it's Bergwijn actually. Really good defensive play that. Because if they switched the play, they were in trouble. So Spurs doing a little bit better there. But they're back in their own half now. No, what I was going to say is, somebody said, have you ever watched This Is England? And I've said I've never watched it. But the interesting thing is, I think that we've all got... Oh, Caballero! Oh, Bergwijn can't catch it up. That was a comedy Benny Hill moment. Basically, the ball goes over the top. Alonso makes a bit of a mistake in knocking it back. It's just a long ball looking for Bergwijn. Bergwijn's well onside. Alonso doesn't get there. Bergwijn gets the touch on it, knocks it past Caballero, but it just runs out of play. Thought it was going to be a chance. Hi Mark, thoughts on Ancelotti's rebuild at Everton, says Haz Gerzi. I'm really excited to see United play Everton next week because I just don't know how good Everton are under Ancelotti. And the Everton game tomorrow is going to be interesting. Reece James crosses it in, Alderweireld gets rid of it. So Spurs coming back into the game a little bit now, which is good to see. We want to draw. If you're a United fan, you want to draw. What we got? About 9 minutes till half time. It wasn't Bergwijn, it was Tanganga, sorry. So that was really good play from Tanganga to be getting forward as the right wing back there, really exploiting the space. That's what we need to see from Spurs, a little bit more adventure, because, you know, Mourinho for me plays too defensive, but that ball there over the top to what is effectively the right wing back, and he gets into an attacking position like that. Spurs need to be doing that with Tanganga and Ben Davies a lot more. They need to be playing as almost wingers. Michael Duffy says, hi Mark, hope you all have a good weekend. Pucky's goal against Liverpool earlier in the season was disallowed and only his hand was over the line, says Michael Duffy. Well, that's an interesting point from Michael Duffy, and if anyone's got an answer to that, why was that the case? Alonso's got it now on the left side. I think we have seen that this season, whereby players have been adjudged offside in situations where it wasn't, probably shouldn't have been an offside. Please do subscribe if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, we're trying to get up to 123,000 today, which is the top right hand corner number. Bottom right hand corner to subscribe. We are doing Chelsea Bayern Munich this week as a watch along, and of course Man City Real Madrid. That's going to be an absolute cracking game as a watch along. Really looking forward to that. So everybody's welcome on here. It's That's Football. It's not club specific. It's just games that we all probably watch. You know, you might not be a fan of Chelsea or Spurs, but obviously it's a game to watch. Ooh, Alonso. And it's a goal kick. That's a shame. Roman Halliday says, you might be excited about playing Everton, but you know what happened last year? Yeah, they beat us 4-0. Goodison Park's always one of my favourite places to play, actually, to be honest. I look forward to that. Goal kick to Spurs here. Nice ball into Ross Barkley down the left-hand side, though. Chelsea looking for that second goal. Ross Barkley and Davinson Sanchez is going to have to keep that in, otherwise it will be a goal kick. That's a nice little ball out to Lau Celso, who's done well. Kovacic wins it back. That looked like a foul to me. Plays it on. Also, Neto's goal for Wolves against Liverpool, only his hand, I believe, was offside, says Luke Mason, and Barkley gets the shot off there. Pogba out, says Mark's cheating on the wife. No, it's my little lad going past the room, so he always goes like that because he knows he's got to be quiet. So good. I've quite enjoyed this first half thus far. Don't know about you lot, but I have quite enjoyed it. I think it's been a decent game. Sheriff says Chelsea winning means top 4 not guaranteed. We'll come back to that in a moment. Vialli and Mancini in the stadium, look. Classics. Absolute classics. Mancini played for Leicester, didn't he? Did he play for Chelsea? I think Mancini only played for Leicester in the Premier League. Vialli played for Chelsea, obviously. I liked Chelsea then. I thought they were... they didn't really... I don't think they won Premier League titles then, but when they had Hullet and Zola and Vialli, they were an exciting team to watch. But I don't think they were Premier League title winners then. They were just... it was just the start of their money. Josh Mounsell says, Mark, can you say Ben is a mug? He's a mate of mine. Ben, you're a mug, apparently. Jester's Vengeance, who is a member. I love it. Look at Jester Vengeance's comments. He's got the green name and then he's got the little United That's Football badge next to it. If you want that, you can become a member by clicking the join button. Top 4 is never guaranteed. You must earn it, says Jester's Vengeance. Absolutely spot on with that. And... Barkley or Lingard, who is better, says Uchi Okwe. Obviously Barkley at the moment. All he's got to do is do something okay. I mean, Barkley nearly scored. It was talking you back through the goal. I mean, we've not really had a look at the offside. It clearly was onside, but Giroud got through, shot, good save by Lloris. Barkley hit it well, it hit the bar, and then Giroud hit it even better into the bottom corner. So it's 1-0 to Chelsea. There's been chances for both sides since then, but Chelsea have been the better team. Very similar performance this to what Chelsea played against United. I just think they've had more cutting edge. Lots more of the ball as well. What I was going to say is, though, somebody asked me, have you ever seen This Is England? I think we've all got films that we can all say I've never watched. Like, I was talking to Flex before Christmas. He's never watched the Star Wars film. And I was like, how do you never watch a Star Wars film? He says, I've just never watched one. You know, he's 30 and he's never seen a Star Wars film. So, but I haven't seen some films, and I love film. Like, film's one of my favourite things with football. So I've never seen Raging Bull, which amazes me because I like boxing, I like Robert De Niro. I've never watched Raging Bull. I'd never watched Mean Streets, and I watched it last summer. I thought it was actually shit, but there are some films that I haven't watched. And I think we've all got that, whether it's a series or not. I've never watched... I've watched about 4 episodes of The Sopranos, and that's all I watched. Do you think Martial will be called up for international duty, and what strikers would you call if you were France manager? Love your work. Thank you, says 6 Strikes. I don't think Martial will get called up. I know he has been in the past, but I don't think he will get called up because I don't think Deschamps is a big fan of Martial, to be honest with you. They've finally shown the offside, and he's not offside. His arm isn't offside anyway, because Davinson Sanchez is playing him on. But they do have his arm as being the line, so maybe your hand is offside. I don't get it. Any part of your body then, it looks like. Yeah, just very, very quickly, because we are nearly at half-time and we'll be talking about the match at half-time. Wilder versus Fury tonight. Who are you going for? I think I want Fury to win, definitely, but I think Wilder's going to win. I just get a feeling from Tyson Fury that he's not in that right space that he needs to be, but hopefully that's all a bit of an act. So yeah, Sanchez was keeping Giroud on side, but they were using Giroud's hand as the line. So if his hand had been offside, maybe they would have given it offside, which apparently is not the way. Jester's Vengeance says it's the armpit. Okay, we'll see at half time anyway. They'll show us a closer line of it, I'm sure. And we're nearly at half time. We're in the 44th minute. Chelsea winning 1-0. So Chelsea doing what Chelsea tend to do. Open the door to top four and then close it again, and then next week they'll open it. Pranav Prasad is the latest member of the That's Football Members Club. Thanks for joining, Pranav. And what is your favourite match of the 2010s decade, says Joe Mack. It wasn't. There's not a lot. There isn't a lot, is there? I mean, probably something between 2010 and 2012 when we won the title. Some of the Man City ones were good. Van Persie's where he won it late on. I remember really enjoying that. I mean, there's probably more obvious. I mean, Europa League was enjoyable because it was enjoyable to win the Europa League. I enjoyed that, but it wasn't a great decade from a United point of view. It started off well and just got gradually worse. Ref's going to blow up anyway. There's about 30 seconds left. I think Spurs in the second half have got to do what they did with Tanganga when he had that chance. They've got to push their fullbacks forward a lot more because at the moment Chelsea are very comfortable, and I think Chelsea's biggest fear is going to be complacency. Giroud scored for Chelsea, Zach Bradshaw. It remains 1-0, and I think he's probably going to blow up. He blows up there. No, he's not blown up yet. Yes, he has. It's 1-0 to Chelsea at half-time. So we'll stop the clock and we'll take some of your thoughts. But very, very quickly, Chelsea, for me, deserving it. Totally deserving it. I've just put a tweet out actually, and it might be a bit controversial. It may be a bit controversial, but I stand by it. What I basically said is that Chelsea are dominating boring Jose. I don't know. I don't really know how many Spurs fans have we got in the live comments, because I don't really know how happy Spurs fans are with what's happening at Spurs under Mourinho. I think if Mourinho gets you top four, you're going to be happy, but the football isn't what you would expect from a Spurs side in any sense, shape or form. Akash, member of the club, says Giroud against United could have been better. Yes, well, he did score a goal, but it was offside in that game, wasn't it? And Pranav Prasad says Spurs have nothing in the final third. I think that's going to be the line, isn't it? What do you actually think about whether that's true or not? Jester's Vengeance says, Mark, you will probably see Ruben Loftus-Cheek in the second half. It'd be nice to see him. He's been out all season, and that's a big boost for Chelsea, especially losing Kante. But 1-0 at half-time. Chelsea, much the better side. They've played the better football. I predicted that anyway, regardless of the result. I think we knew that Chelsea would play the better football. But they've had the better chances. Good goal. We'll check the offside when they put it up on the screen at the minute. But 65% possession for Chelsea. They've had 9 shots to Spurs 3. And look, they deserve to be in the lead. I think the problem that Spurs have got is that Mourinho has made it very clear that it's going to be very hard for them without Harry Kane and Son. But you've still got all of your midfield. You know, you're not picking Dele Alli today. You've still got all the midfield that you normally would have had. There's no midfield injury. You've got Bergwijn who's come in. You've got Lucas Moura. You've just got to find a different way of playing. You've still got all your defenders there. So I don't think it's an excuse for Spurs to say we can't get 4th place because we've got no Son or Kane. It's going to be interesting how he rebuilds it in the summer. But I think the most interesting thing for Spurs is, just because you haven't got Kane and Son, does that mean you park the bus and you don't fight? You don't create chances. And I think, having seen Spurs under Jose recently, they look very much like Manchester United under Jose, where, yeah, they're well organised, but they're not creating many chances. And in this game now, I think the best thing that could have happened was Chelsea score. You want the team that's the better footballing team to score first, because it means that the defensive side have got to change their tactics. And Jose in the second half has got to change his tactics. And the thing is, Lucas Moura's had a chance. Tanganga could have got in. He was a little bit unlucky. So there are opportunities for Chelsea there, but they've got to... Sorry, I always think of Chelsea and Jose. There are opportunities for Spurs there, but they've got to be willing to go and get them. And I think at the moment, Mourinho is still a little bit nervous. I don't see Spurs winning this game. I think the draw I want, because that's best for United, and I think the draw Arsenal and Everton and Sheffield United and Wolves want, is still on the table. I don't think Spurs are going to get a win today. I think their limitations will be to get back into this game and get a draw. I don't think Jose's got any intention of going, shit, we're 1-0 down, let's get a goal back and let's go and win it. I don't think that's the case. I think at the moment he's still more concerned about Chelsea getting a second goal, and I think if he can keep it 1-0, 15 minutes to go, they might go for it a little bit. But there doesn't seem to be enough urgency from from Spurs to get back into the game at the moment. Zayn Miasi says, ex-Gooner scoring against Spurs. Great start for Saturday, and we will smash Everton. Aubameyang hat-trick. I think it's going to be a very interesting game for Arsenal tomorrow. I think they will win, but I think it'll be difficult. Let's be honest, Mark, Spurs look like us under Oli. Yeah, well, there are, but the thing is, I don't think you can say that Spurs look like United under Oli. I think United under Oli have looked very similar to Mourinho United. I've always said that, and a lot of people have said that we're a Poundland version of Jose's United because we're not as good. But there is a lot of similarities between Spurs today and United on Monday. The difference is Chelsea have got the goal from their pressure, and the difference is Spurs haven't taken the chances that they've had. Mark is unbelievably obsessed with Mourinho, says James Murphy. I would suspect James is a Jose Mourinho fan. I'm not obsessed with Mourinho. I talk about Mourinho when I'm watching a Mourinho game, and we're watching a Mourinho game. I mean, what do you want me to do? Talk about Klopp? We're watching Spurs against Chelsea, and Spurs are losing. There's not a lot to say about Chelsea. I've seen Chelsea play this season. They're playing the same they play most games. They do play a good brand of football. They are inconsistent, but today they're playing well and they're winning 1-0. So the onus is on Spurs to get back into the game. And I think that Spurs get back in the game by playing a little bit more on the front foot. Otherwise, I think there's two results in this game. There's a draw and there's a Chelsea win. I can't see Spurs winning. I can't see them getting back into this game unless Jose does something that I haven't really seen him do for years, which is go on the front foot and try and attack. Do you think if United signed Haaland, Bruno would not be at the club, says Calvin Lung? I think that's probably the case. There are... How long is it into the match? It's half time, Ryan Burke. And ever since Giroud's goal, Tottenham have played very well, says Maha Saad. Well, they've had to come back into the game a little bit. Phoebe's gone, don't worry. Shout out to all the Arsenal fans here, says ValmerX3. And we are going to get some more moderators on this channel, by the way. I've already said that if people become members after the first month or two, we'll start picking some members to be moderators. So that's how it will work. Do you think... I'm not talking about United, to be honest, because we're talking Chelsea here. Do you think Leicester are getting top four, says William Hyena? Well, that's something I did want to have a quick look at, actually. If you look at the league table as it stands at the moment, and they normally do let me have a look. And as it stands table. So as it stands at the moment, Chelsea have got 44 points if they win. Spurs would be on 40 points, and United are on 38 points. So if United win against Watford, we'd still be 3 points behind Chelsea. If Leicester lose to City, they're on 50 points. They're still going to be 9 points ahead of United if United win tomorrow. So I think Leicester can get pulled into it. I think Leicester can get pulled into the top 4 race. And I think Leicester aren't in a good position at the moment. But the thing about Leicester is they don't play European football. So they only play 1 game a week. They've got Norwich on Friday, which you would expect them to win. Then they've got Villa at home. Then they've got Watford away. Then they've got Brighton at home. So to be honest, I think Leicester will win 3 of the next 4 games, which will take them into April. And then that 9 or 8 or 7 point gap they've got on 5th or 4th should be okay for them. And then into April, they've got Palace at home. Everton away will be tough for them. Arsenal away will be tough. Bournemouth away could be tough if Bournemouth are fighting for their life. Sheffield United at home. Spurs away. And then Manchester United. So actually, I redressed that. I think Leicester need to win 3 of their next 4 games after Man City, because if they don't, their finish is United, Spurs, Sheffield United, Arsenal are there, and Everton are there. So they've got to play 5 of the chasing teams in the last 2 months of the season. So maybe Leicester can get pulled in, actually. Maybe it is. That would be good. That would be good from a United point of view. It'd be good from a Chelsea point of view, a Spurs point of view, an Arsenal point of view. I mean, Arsenal are going to have to keep winning and winning and winning, aren't they? Sergey Mamedov says, is there going to be a Discord show? That's on the United stand, mate, and that will be Monday night. This is the true Spurs we know. Back to the ordinary club. London is red, says Zayn Miasi. And Jordan Such says, looking at Spurs, I think sacking Poch was right, but as a club that traditionally played good football, I think they would have appointed someone like Brendan Rodgers or the Ajax manager. Yeah, I thought... And I thought and think that Levy appointing Mourinho was very brave. It almost reminds me of what United did. Get a top-class manager because he tends to do good things. The problem with United is we appointed Mourinho, who'd managed 5 clubs before us and took all of them to the title in the first 2 years, and then didn't do it with us. Spurs are appointing a manager that always takes that club to top 4. You know, Mourinho has taken every club he's managed to top 4. So, and for Spurs, that's what they want. But is he now going to become a manager that can't do that either? I just think Mourinho is box office, and I find him very interesting. But if his career went like that, I think now it's like that, and I don't think it's going to go like that again. I think it's gradually on the way down. And next season's going to be the season for Mourinho. You can't sack Mourinho before next season. He's got to have a proper summer transfer window. He's got to be given next season. But I don't think he's going to be a success. I don't, because I think Spurs gauge their success on good football and being in a top 4. And I think next season, Man City will still be there. Liverpool will still be there. I think Chelsea will get better. And then you've got teams like, well, what's going to happen with Leicester? Are United going to be better? Are Arsenal going to be better? So I think it's going to be very difficult for Spurs. Southpaw Sport Love Sports is the latest member of That's Football. Thanks for joining, pal. And do you think Liverpool will go unbeaten, says Jazaf on top? I don't. I actually don't think Liverpool will do the Invincibles. And I'm not doing that to make Zayn and Arsenal fans feel happy, but I don't think Liverpool will get the Invincibles. I think they will get beaten by City when they play them, or maybe Everton at Goodison Park. But I don't think Liverpool will go unbeaten, because I think what will happen with Liverpool is once the title's won, the psychological determination will drop. It's just human nature. But what I think I would be interested to see if Liverpool do get through March and April unbeaten. They play Arsenal at the Emirates at the start of May. I would love that. That would probably be the biggest hyped game of the season, wouldn't it? Because it would become it would be the Invincibles Cup. Because if Liverpool do go unbeaten this season, then Arsenal may as well throw away their cup, because Liverpool will be unbeaten having won 99% of their games, whereas Arsenal's Invincibles drew 35% of their games. So Liverpool will be the best Invincibles. So Arsenal won't have it to themselves anymore, and also they won't even have the best one anymore. So it would be funny if Liverpool did stay unbeaten all the way through to playing Arsenal in May, because then that would become the Invincibles Cup game, wouldn't it? And could this current Arsenal team beat Liverpool at the Emirates? Well, of course they could, but it would be interesting. Jose must have been desperate to go to a pub team like Spurs. They've been average for the last 50 years, apart from when they had Poch. That's from Zayn. And also, are you doing a watch along for Leicester City? Says Jordan Such. No, I don't think I'm even going to watch it, Jordan. I might have it on in the background while I do a bit of painting or something. This was my game today to watch. I might do Everton Chelsea tomorrow. Sorry, Everton Arsenal tomorrow, or Arsenal Everton at the Emirates, because dependent on results. I think if United don't win, I probably will do Arsenal Everton. If United win, there's still a gap between the two. Also, I do want to see how good Everton are, to be honest with you, under Ancelotti, because they've done quite well. Love your chart show, says Akash. Yes, check out the chart show. I'll give it a shout out at the end on the United Stand. We're the only fan channel that does this. I'm sure we won't be the only fan channel for long, because I'm sure other football clubs will want to do it. But basically, Saturday morning used to be a music show on ITV called The Chart Show, top 10 music songs of the week. That's all died now, hasn't it, because of Top of the Pops and bloody downloads and everything. But it works really well for a football club. So the United Stand, it's week 2. We're doing a chart show every Saturday morning where we rank the top 10 United players. So last week, Fred was number 1, Wan-Bissaka was number 2, and I think De Gea was number 3. This week, we've got a different top 3, but we've also got a different top 10. And it's based on how players play through the week. So it always is going to change. Some people drop out, some people come through. But there's a serious element to it as well, because, you know, players should be keeping an eye on that and seeing, you know, why am I never in the top 10? Because you're shit. Arsenal played in the good era of football and Liverpool in the worst Premier League in the season. So I would rather not compare that Arsenal Invincibles to Liverpool, says Sunil Ambrose. To be honest with you, when Arsenal won the Invincibles in 2004, that was a crap time in the Premier League. I've got to be honest, it was. United were going through transition. You know, we were going through a transition in 2004. We were not a very good United side. Chelsea at that time hadn't hit the Mourinho era, so they weren't very strong. Man City didn't exist because it was pre-2008. Spurs were obviously still crap. So, and Liverpool, well, you know, Liverpool were Liverpool. So, to be honest with you, you've exposed yourself there, because this Liverpool season is definitely harder than 2004 was for Arsenal, because there's you know, I know a lot of teams are underperforming, but there's more competition than there was then. This Liverpool team is better than the Arsenal Invincibles. Let's put it out there. Right, second half's about to kick off. Can Spurs get back into this? They have to try and change. They've got to go more on the front foot. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. And we're trying to get up to 123,000 subscribers today. And share the video as well. There's a share button underneath. Really appreciate that. Everybody's welcome on this channel. That's how That's Football works. We do watch-alongs on here. We normally do one Premier League watch-along a week. Then there's sort of like topical shows like Premier League previews, etc. But when the Champions League's on, we do watch-alongs for that. So we're doing Man City, Real Madrid and Chelsea, Bayern Munich midweek as well. So everybody get involved. We have good banter, good chats. Everybody is welcome on here. Johnny says, only tuning in now, what do you think is the ideal result in this game? I hope Chelsea win, because I don't want Spurs gathering momentum. Be interested to know who you support, Johnny, because as a Manchester United fan, I want to draw. And I think Wolves and Sheffield United and Everton and Arsenal will feel the same. I think if Chelsea win, I think Chelsea have got enough good players coming back that they could get, they could be hard to stop. So I want to draw. I don't think a Spurs win is on the table. Christensen looks like the bloody lead out of Phantom of the Opera with that mask on. What a musical Phantom of the Opera is. My favourite musical. And I quite like musicals. I'm a bit of a culture vulture. People born in 2000 talking about this is the worst Premier ever been, says Sean Yusuf. And we've got a Sheffield United fan in here. I can see the Blades emblem. Love it. BW says, a draw suits me. Shot wide there from Reece James. It was quite wide, to be fair. CJ Source says, do I think Spurs can come back? I think Spurs can get a draw. But I just think... I've always quite liked Spurs. I'm not going to make that a secret. I've always quite liked Spurs. I don't like Spurs under Jose. They remind me a lot of United, and obviously I've seen a lot of United under Jose, and I didn't like it. I think Spurs have got different footballing traditions to the way Mourinho plays. And knowing what Mourinho was like at United, I think Mourinho in this game will be thinking, let's keep it tight, let's not concede a second goal, let's try and get a draw. He won't be trying to win this game, and that, to me, isn't the way that Spurs should be playing. So I don't think you can win the game, I think you can get a draw. But what do I know? PMV Patrick, thank you for the contribution there. And will Manchester United win the Premier League? Haroon Rahman says no, they won't. And a second goal for Chelsea. Just when we were talking about that, Lampard's happy. This is over. Game over. It's Chelsea. It's 2-0. It's Alonso. And, well, Mourinho's chance has gone. He is going to get schooled by the Padawan Lampard again. The Jedi Master is now defeated. Game over. Good play by Barkley, and Alonso hits it. Sweet as a nut. He nearly scored a worldie in the first half. Mason Mount does well here. Plays it across to Barkley. First time. And I tell you what, I used to score goals like this. You won't believe me, but as a left footer, you just hit across it with a bit of drive and low. Lloris can't save that. It's a lovely hit. It's never, ever going to be VAR'd. And 2-0. 2-0. And Lampard's loving it against Mourinho. That's probably game over. And you've got to say, it's deserved. I don't... You know that Spurs fan who says, do I see a Spurs comeback? I've got to be honest with you. I don't see a comeback anymore. 2-0. We've not even had 5 minutes of the second half. The interesting thing for now, if I was a Spurs fan, I would be like, what is Jose Mourinho's plan at this football club? Only yesterday he comes out with what a save by Lloris as well from Ross Barkley. This is a very confident Chelsea side today. What is Jose Mourinho's plan with your football club? That's my question to you. What is his plan? Because he comes out yesterday with these comments that if I got fourth with Spurs, it'll be better than second with United. To me, as a player for Spurs, that just says our manager doesn't believe in us. And it's a weird tactic that Mourinho seems to employ. But it's looking like it's game over. It's 2-0. And what a finish by Alonso. But what Spurs don't want to do is get absolutely humiliated. That's something that Mourinho doesn't like. So what's he going to do now over the next few minutes? Reece James, good clearance. Is he gonna try and get back in the game? Is he gonna shut up the shop? Thanks for the contribution, Zayn Miasti. He's loving it. And reminder for Arsenal fans that it'll be 16 years without a title this May and counting, says Box of Oranges 84. Tottenham need to be careful not to go 3 down, says Stuart Hayler. Is there a United stand show tonight, says Raphael Siggins. Yep, 8 o'clock as per usual. Rahul Mad 23 says, how the hell did we beat Chelsea? Well, we beat Chelsea because we got... Ooh, that's nasty. By Lo Celso and Aspilicueta. Oh, he might be getting a red. He might be getting a red for that. He might be getting a red for this, Lo Celso. What do we think? I think it's a red. I think it is a red. I think it is a red. 100%. I think that's a red. Why are you so bitter towards Jose, says Mr. Mohamed Ismail? I'm not bitter towards him. I just want him to play good football. Max Moore says red card 100%. This is 100% going to be a red card. They can look at it all the angles they want. He stamps down on the ball. You can't stamp down on a ball. So it's a red card. Spurs imploding. They ain't getting top 4, are they? What? What the hell? How is that not a red card? VAR, get in the bin. VAR, get in the bloody bin. That is a joke. That is not he's not given a red card. Oh my life. Lampard is like, how the hell is that? He's going furious. He's absolutely spot on. I agree with Lampard. Since when can you stamp down on a football? How can they say that's not a red card? And I don't care whether that's bloody Dan James for United, Bruno for United. I'm going to say that's a red card because it's a red card. He stamps down on the ball. Now look, maybe he's not meaning to stamp on Azpilicueta, but you can't stamp down on a football. So it's ridiculous. That is one of the worst VAR decisions of the season. Like, what worried me is that the amount of angles we saw it, like they were playing it back for anyone who's not watching. So the ball's there, Azpilicueta slides in, Lo Celso stamps down on Azpilicueta. Now I'm not 100% sure that he's stamping down on Azpilicueta. I think he's, at best he's stamping down on the ball. But as soon as they started showing so many different angles, I'm like, whoever's reviewing this isn't getting what we're seeing. You only need to see it once. He stamps down on the ball. You're not allowed to, you can't stamp on a ball. So it's just, well, you can stamp on a ball, but why would you ever need to stamp down on a ball? It's just a straight red card. It's a joke, absolute joke. It's not going to make any difference to the game, and to be honest, in the context of the game, as long as Azpilicueta's okay, then it's better that Spurs keep 11 on the pitch, because otherwise we're just going to see defence against attack for half an hour, which we don't want to see. But in the context of VAR, crap, absolutely crap. Zayn Miasi, Mark, with Orbalaka, Pepe, Martinelli, we have the best attack in London, no competition. I see, Zayn, how you've changed that now, haven't you? But you're still mid-table, so if you've got the best attack, why are you mid-table? The Shadow says it's never a red, interesting. And KT says the tackle comes from the back, though. Yellow, minimal contact, says open air cleaving. And a few people saying it's not a red. I thought it was. Kean Griff says he could have seriously injured him. And it's not a red card. It's not been given. Cup Tea says there's a rumour going around that Stevie Wonder is controlling VAR. And what does this mean for Manchester United? It means we're 6 points behind Chelsea, so we better beat Watford tomorrow. Mark, we'll have to be wary of Spurs next week, as they will look for a bounce and hope Ollie doesn't play 3 at the back to nullify their formation. We're not playing them next week, Sakar Kapoor. We're playing Spurs at the end of March. So we're playing Everton next week. But we have got to go to Spurs. We have got to go to Spurs, and I would fancy us to beat this Spurs side. To be honest, I think it'd be defence against defence is going to be the interesting thing, isn't it? We're much better when we play a team that attacks. But Chelsea are looking good in this game. There is a bit of a lack of discipline in this game now. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a red card at some point. Audio Slaveric says it's a breaking leg tackle. It should have been a red. And Jester's Vengeance says, if kicking someone in the nuts is not a red, why would this one be? Yeah, well, at least it's consistent. It is consistent. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. I've really enjoyed the stream today. Anyway, it has been a good game, and it's been a good. We've had some good conversations. And CJ Source, to be fair, to be honest, as a Spurs fan, I'm happy with Europa League. It's something we can challenge for. Yeah, Jose could probably win you the Champions League, to be honest. But I hope Spurs can get back into this, but they're not playing enough people forward. They're not pushing enough people forward. So we've got more than half an hour to go in this game, so plenty left. I'm confused by why it wasn't a red card. I have to be honest with you on that one. But it wasn't. And we just have to live with it. Can Spurs get back into it? That is the question. Mark, I'm glad we got rid of Ivan Gazidis. He was like Dr. Evil from Austin Powers. That's from Zayn Massey. Who's going to score next? Probably Chelsea. Well, it's not the result I wanted, but it is still 11 versus 11. I think if Lo Celso had been sent off, which I think he should have been, then there's no way Spurs are getting back into this game. And somebody would say there's no way Spurs are getting back into this game anyway. But I think that they may... At 1-0 there was a chance they might have got back into it. 2-0 is going to be a bit of a stretch. It's not the result I wanted. Who wins, Wilder or Fury, says Simon Monaghan. I want Fury to win. I think Wilder's going to win. I just got a feeling about it. Ollie plays nothing like this. We actually try, says Orlando Anglin. Well, look at the foul on... Aspilicueta was just showing his leg. And somebody in our live comments did actually say there was minimal content on Aspilicueta's leg. Having seen it, I disagree. Some tasty tackles going in though, which is what you want to see in a London derby. Ben Davies and Reece James going at it there. I've enjoyed it. I always like a game where there's a bit of fight in it. Velmer X3 says, Mark, did you miss me? I don't remember you, mate. Sorry, there are certain names that I do remember in the live comments, but I don't remember you. What sort of topics shall we talk about then? Yeah, because it is 2-0 here at the moment. You know what? I don't know whether anybody saw it on the United stand after the game against Bruges on Thursday night. We got a fan cam with Andy Cole. So Flex had a little 5 minutes with Andy Cole, and he was talking about Anthony Martial, and he was, talking about how he's got to get himself in the right positions. And I do think that it made me think about Andy Cole, because he did an article, I read it a couple of weeks ago, saying that he's not really appreciated. And in this modern world where United want to sign a striker, I do think people underestimate how good people like Andy Cole, Ian Wright, Les Ferdinand were. Everyone knows Alan Shearer was good, but there was a time when and Robbie Fowler's another one as well. So I'm not even being United-centric here. I am actually doing like what we should do on That's Football, which is talk about a lot of different players. And I think that there was a time where, around Euro 96, where we played Sheringham and Shearer, and they were very good. But we were blessed with so many good strikers. Andy Cole, Robbie Fowler, Ian Wright, Les Ferdinand, even Stan Collymore was pretty decent. But Andy Cole was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And I think if you had a prime Andy Cole in a Manchester United shirt now, you'd have one of the best strikers in the world. Like, he was absolutely superb at scoring goals, running the line, intelligent in and around the box. Absolutely fantastic player. And a lot of you won't be interested in that, but we had a time in the mid-90s where there was so many good English strikers. Who do I think is going to get top 5? I think it's really important. Knock into the live comments about that. Just type out your top 5. I think, well, obviously, I think the obvious one's going to be Liverpool are going to win the league. I think City will come second. I think City Leicester today is such a boring game. I'm not going to watch it. So I think City will get second. I'm starting to think Leicester are Leicester's next month. I think they're playing Brighton and they're playing Norwich. If they don't win those games, their end to the season for Leicester, where they've got to play Spurs, Everton, Arsenal, United. Leicester need to win 3 of their next 4 games after City. If they don't do that, I think they're going to get sucked down into a battle for 4th. So I think at the moment, I would say, yeah, Leicester are going to get top 4, but they've got to start picking up some wins. So I will say Leicester at the moment for 3rd. 4th and 5th is so difficult. I mean, if Sheffield United win today at 3 o'clock, and I really hope they do, I might even watch it actually. I hope Sheffield United do win today against Brighton because, why shouldn't they? Why should I hope that Sheffield United don't win games? It just feels wrong. So I think it's going to be United and Chelsea 4th and 5th. I just don't know which way around it's going to be. I do think Chelsea will get... I can't see Chelsea being 4th all season and then finishing 6th or lower. So I think Chelsea will get 4th or 5th. And I think United will start to pick up more points as well. So I'm going to go United 4th or 5th and Chelsea 4th or 5th. Do you have a second team you support secretly, says Will B? No. I don't. I just love football. So I've really enjoyed this game today. I'm not a Chelsea or Spurs fan. Likewise, I watched Spurs versus Leipzig on Wednesday and I enjoyed Leipzig's football. I just love football. There's teams I never want to do well, even though I can watch them and say they're a good team. Like Liverpool are a really good team. I just don't want them to do well because they're a rival. There are teams I don't like and I never will like, but I don't have a second team. I like football. What do you think of a Luke Shaw and Maguire centre-back pairing, says Isaac? It wouldn't work, I don't think. I think Luke Shaw works well in a back 3, but I don't want United to play that. Yonko says Chelsea will be 4th and Sheffield United or Arsenal will be 5th. And Cecilia Batti says that Chelsea are going to beat Spurs. I think we can all predict that one. Good free kick position here for Spurs. Just going back to the game for a moment. It's sort of 5 yards out. I think Alderweireld's going to hit that. Mark, is Mata as good as Ricky claims he is, says Nick P. Hits the top of the wall, goes for a corner. Juan Mata is superb. He might not play well, he might not even play, but he's still man of the match every week because he's superb. He writes a great blog, he's very intelligent, and he's the man behind Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Please subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. I don't think Spurs are getting back into this at all. Jim Ed says, are you going to do Arsenal versus Everton Watchalong tomorrow? I'm thinking about it. I am seriously thinking about it because I still think Arsenal and Everton are in a top 4 race if they don't draw tomorrow. One of them's got to win. If one of them wins tomorrow, they may be in a top 4 race. 1999 United versus 2020 Liverpool. Who's winning? Says Joshua Kane. Mate, this is just modern nonsense. Like, there is no way Liverpool are better than Manchester United's 99 side. You can't be. I think even a logical Liverpool fan knows this. You can't be better than 99 United when you've not actually won anything yet. Like, you can't. At this moment in time, we can't have that conversation. United 99 are the best team in Premier League history. That's a fact. So Liverpool haven't even won it yet. They're going to win it, but we don't know what their story is. We don't know what Liverpool 20 story is yet. Is it Liverpool 20 brilliant Premier League winners, or is it Liverpool 20 Premier League and Champions League winners? Is it Liverpool 20 Invincibles and League winners? Is it Liverpool 20 Invincibles and treble winners? To be honest with you, if it's Liverpool Invincibles and treble winners, United 99 have got a problem. But until we know what their story is, you can't have that debate. It's always United. Are you ready for the masterclass tomorrow, says Amy Assey? I'm quite looking forward to Arsenal Everton tomorrow from a real point of view, because we're playing Everton next week, and I think we're going to play the same problem you've got. You played Thursday night. We'll have played Thursday night. Everton haven't played all week, and also Everton seem to be doing a lot better under Ancelotti. So it's going to be interesting. I think Arsenal will win tomorrow, and I think United will beat Everton in a week as well. But it's going to be interesting to see how good they actually are. So this game is sort of petering out a little bit at the moment. Spurs just trying to keep it... I think Spurs are just trying not to concede, to be honest. Neem Yassin says, I'm a Liverpool fan, but I think 2008 Man United team is better than 99. I don't think you were born then, mate, because you're absolutely wrong. How can a team that won the treble be better than a team that didn't? Although, if it wasn't for a cheating referee against Portsmouth, we would have won the FA Cup that year, so it would have been another treble. But, you know, you're talking Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, Ryan Giggs, David Beckham as a midfield. Like, that makes you the best team anyway. 08 was very good, but it wasn't 99. D-Pro says, on the red card, official verdict, it was not a red card because Lo Celso doesn't have any place to keep his foot. Yeah, but he didn't need to bloody stamp down, did he? That's ridiculous. Gaming God TV says it as well. That's absolutely poor. So I'm going to have to put a tweet out here, and you can all read it on at Mark Goldbridge. I won't ruin it. So basically, let me get this right while I'm constructing this tweet. So Lo Celso didn't get a red because he didn't have anywhere else to put his foot. I'm not going to tell you what I said. At Mark Goldbridge on Twitter. You should be following me anyway, please. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. That would be great. The next watch-along is... Well, I'll have to have a look because I don't know who's playing who. I know what the next... Well, we might do do subscribe. Keep your notifications on by clicking the bell because we may well do the Arsenal-Everton game tomorrow. I'm not doing Man City versus Leicester. I've got no interest in doing that one, to be honest with you. Might do Arsenal versus Chelsea tomorrow. Sorry, Everton. But definitely going to do Chelsea versus Bayern on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. And we will definitely do Real Madrid in the Bernabeu against Man City on Wednesday night. So they're the next two definites. Not doing Liverpool versus West Ham on Monday night. I think that's going to be the most boring game in the history of football because Liverpool will win that easily. Johan Dahl is going to upset Zayn here. He says, Johan Dahl Sorensen says, Arsenal is and always will be the most pathetic of the top 6 clubs. What a tweet, says Alf. Thanks very much. Lewis Sharp says, that tweet is so true. It's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, to say that Lo Celso doesn't get a red card because he had nowhere else to put his foot. It's disgusting. He stamps on the bloody player. Like, he doesn't need to put his foot down like that. What's your prediction for Watford? And also, let's be honest here. He's got nowhere else to put his foot. A leg is that wide. He could have put his foot that way, that way. They've just bottled it there. And I think they bottled it because they know the game's over if they give the red card, which shouldn't be a reason. What's your prediction for Watford, Mark? Says Plastic E. Thanks for the super chat, mate. United win 2-1. Will West Ham get relegated this year? Says Jonas Lancer. I don't think they will. I think that... Oh, Spurs? Oh, he wants a penalty. I don't think he's going to get it. I don't think they'll even VAR that. Harry Winks going down from a tackle. Tammy Abraham's come on, which is good for them to have him back. Gives them a little bit of space and pace up front. Stretch the Spurs defence a little bit as Spurs try to get back into this game in the next 15 minutes. There's still 15 minutes to go. I mean, what's the plan from Spurs to get back into this game? So, what do you want to happen? Do you want Sheffield United to win this afternoon? Are you one of those fans who are like, look, they still could be a rival for top 4. I don't want them to win against Brighton. Or actually, do you enjoy the Sheffield United story so much that you're like, actually, I hope they do win? I know from a United point of view, I shouldn't want Sheffield United to win, but I do. I do want them to win today. I just think it's a great story, and I think if they manage to get top 4, then it's more of a shame on people like Spurs and United than it is on Sheffield United. So I hope Sheffield United do win. But a lot of people are saying no. They want it to be a draw. Some people saying Brighton to win. Can't captain Bruno in fantasy. How many points is he going to get? Says Ashley GR. I'll tell you what, Lo Celso really is lucky to be on the pitch. There was that one where he kicked out on Mason Mount in the first half. There's the one where he stamped on Azpilicueta, and again he's just studded Kovacic, which didn't look very deliberate. But on another day, he could have had 3 red cards. $15 minutes to go. Norwich are definitely going to get relegated, aren't they? Down 11, they definitely will. He says, are they relegated yet? No, but I think it's 3 points for anyone who plays them at the moment. They're dreadful, aren't they? And a lot of people said when Norwich played Liverpool on the opening day of the season and they got beat 4-0, oh, it's not a reflection of how good Norwich are going to be because they tried to play football in the proper way. I didn't think that. I thought they try to play football in the right way, but they get absolutely battered. They're the crappiest team I've seen in the Premier League this year by a long, long way. United, actually, there's quite an interesting stat with United that we have taken something like 30% of our points this season have been from, well, it was before the Chelsea game, so it won't be any more. But something like 17% of our points have come from Norwich. What do you think is the best English goalkeeper right now, says Mitch Cummings? Not Jordan Pickford. I think that's always the answer. Subban, Baig, Fred and Aaron Wan-Bissaka are not suspended for the Watford game. This is a myth. Robert Leake says, I think Chelsea will get top 4 now. Well, Robert Leake, I wouldn't be so sure about that. Because Chelsea will go up to 44 points if they win today. I think if they'd beaten United, maybe they would have had a chance of being a definitive top 4 bet. But when you look at the next few games, Bournemouth next week, yeah, you'd expect them to probably win that. Next week at 3 o'clock. Then they've got Everton at Stamford Bridge, which won't necessarily be easy. Then they play Aston Villa away, which won't be easy because Villa are trying to stay up. And then they've got Manchester City in the Premier League, which, although it's at Stamford Bridge, won't be easy. Then they go West Ham away, Watford at home, Palace away, Sheffield United away, Norwich at home, Liverpool away, Wolves at home. I mean, to be honest with you, I can see why people are saying Chelsea. But they do have a couple of fixtures that you go, The thing about Chelsea is they've deserved to win today, but they're so inconsistent, they'll probably lose to Bournemouth next week. But it's not been the result I wanted. I did want a draw today, and I think Spurs been very disappointing. What a bit of skill by Mason Mount, that is. Oh, it deserved a goal. And Tammy Abraham has put himself into the post, right in the nuts. This is going to hurt. He's absolutely hit the post. But the scary thing about that is that Tammy Abraham deserved a goal. The skill from Mason Mount. The skill from Mason Mount there was brilliant. The way he spun it around Alderweireld was almost Bergkamp-esque. The cross, and then he puts a lovely cross in that Tammy Abraham should score, and he misses. But he also he nuts himself right through there. If he's done it properly, Tammy Abraham ain't going to be going out tonight. Look at this skill from Mason Mount. The flick. He's away. Lovely cross. Tammy Abraham's got to score that. Fair play to the lad for getting up. I'd be down for about 20 minutes having whacked my nuts on the post. But this is good for Chelsea to have Tammy Abraham back. Loftus-Cheek is back. So they've got 2 players back that will really give them some momentum. And a free kick. And Lo Celso finally goes into the yellow card box. He didn't even get a yellow card for that stamp on Azpilicueta, by the way. That's the amazing thing. Do Liverpool's current team and Manchester United 99 team combination, says Lutho Moss. Okay, we can do that. There's a good free kick position here for Chelsea first, though, because it's right on the edge of the box. Just waiting for this free kick. So Schmeichel's better than Alisson, easy. Gary Neville's better than Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't get this. The trouble I'm going to have with this, right? I'm going to come across as a boomer against the Zoomer. Like, everyone knows how good Trent Alexander-Arnold is, and he's great. But nobody really knows how good Gary Neville was. Gary Neville was world class. Like, I watched Gary Neville for England pocket Ronaldo and Figo in the Euros, and I saw him do this. He played in Euro 96. I can't remember how old he was. 1996. He played in Euro 96. He was England's right wing back. He was a brilliant player, Gary Neville. So, he's at the bar, Alonso, and an overhead kick from, I think, Kovacic there. What a hit by Alonso, that edge of the box. He's got a lovely left foot, Alonso. And Lloris is beaten, and he smacks it right on the bar. Lovely curl towards the top corner. Would have been a worldie. Would have been an absolute worldie, that would have been. But yeah, so Gary Neville would be my right back. I know loads of people are going to disagree with that, but he would be. Centre backs would be Van Dijk and Stam. I'd put Van Dijk in, and Jaap Stam was a very good centre back. So I'd put Van Dijk over Ronnie Johnson. Left back, I mean, look, Robertson is a left back that I really, really like. And Gary Neville, like Eagle said, was massively consistent, and he was a good defender and he was a very good crosser of the ball. Whereas Trent Alexander-Arnold is brilliant going forward, but I still think he's suspect at the back. So I would say that my back four would be Schmeichel, Gary Neville, Van Dijk, Stam, and Irwin. Again, people are going to get silly and say Irwin wasn't as good as Robertson. Dennis Irwin was world class, absolutely world class. So Dennis Irwin gets in. He could do anything since Mitch Cummins. Into the midfield, well, I don't think there's a Liverpool player who gets in the midfield. I can't even think of one. I suppose it depends what formation you're going to play. So I would play in the modern game. You can't really play two up front. It's hard because United played 4-4-2, and 4-4-2 in the modern game doesn't really work. So, and if you don't, but then if you go 4-3-3, you're playing into the hands of, you've got to pick certain Liverpool. If you're playing 4-4-2, it's going to be mainly United players. If you're going to play 4-3-3, then obviously some Liverpool players gets in. Spurs are on the attack here. It's so hard. It's easy to pick the back five, but it's so hard to pick anybody else because of the formations. I would play 4-3-3 with one holding midfielder, which would be Roy Keane, with Scholes and Beckham ahead of him. So I'd play a midfield three of Scholes, Keane and Beckham, because there's no Liverpool player that's getting in ahead of any of them lot. And then my front three would be Giggs, Salah, and Mane. I just because they're the three best players. Look, putting Firmino in because of the system, or putting Andy Cole in, I think actually I would just play Giggs, Mane, and Salah, and I'd find a way to make them play. I'd find a way because they're the three best attackers there are. Out of Firmino, Cole, York, Giggs, Salah, and Mane, the three best are Giggs, Salah, and Mane. So I would take those three. I wouldn't want to drop one of Giggs, Salah, and Mane to find a place for Firmino or Cole or York. So I would find a way of playing them three. It might not work, but that's how I would do it. I'm not dropping Giggs for Mane or Salah just because people say, oh, Giggs didn't score that many goals. It's not always about that though, is it? But 5 minutes to go in this game. I mean, feeble effort by Spurs. Feeble, isn't it? It's not been good. It's not been an effort, a very good effort by Spurs. And does this put Spurs out the top four race? And apparently VAR has just admitted it should have been a red. That is shocking, isn't it? Wow. So they've got to take that as an absolute L, haven't they? I'm baffled by that, to be honest. How can the world know it's a red card and they don't? So will it be retrospective? I don't know. Madness. So VAR comes out and admits it's... and it should have been a red for Lo Celso. It's just not fit for purpose. That's the problem. I know it doesn't make any difference in the game because Chelsea are going to win it and they're 2-0 up. But imagine this game's 0-0. Imagine this game's 1-0 to Spurs and they get it wrong and then Chelsea lose 3 points again and then Chelsea don't get top 4 again. It's only being saved by the fact that we're all quite relaxed because the game was over when it happened. The reality is a mistake like that is a mistake like that, and it's disgraceful. If they check for a possible red, why not a yellow? It's clearly a yellow card at least, as Sandro Rodriguez. Well, apparently they've admitted that it was a red and they got it wrong. And, you know, I think Yazza's right, who cares? But here's Dele Alli. No, it's not Dele Alli, it's Lamela. And it's in! It's an own goal. It's 2-1 and there is a couple of minutes left. And this could be the most undeserved point. The point is on. There will be stoppage time. And that red card could now, you know, Yazza said, oh, it doesn't matter. This could now become a major, major talking point. Because if Spurs somehow scam a result out of this game, which is not beyond the realms of possibility with the time left, then Chelsea, for the second time in a week, could be staring down the barrel of injustice from VAR. It's a lucky goal as well. Lamela hits it. It hits Rudiger and rolls past Caballero. There's nothing he can do. Willian. Oh, he's missed it. Lloris makes the save. So 2-1 and a few minutes left. And this is Chelsea for you, though. I've got to tell you what, I've got a funny feeling Spurs are going to get this. They're on the attack now. 4 minutes added on. Willian coming forward. Reece James. They need to just slow this down, mate. Imagine... Yeah, imagine if if Lo Celso gets it. Riley Smith says, I love the chart show. Actually, I'm going to give a shout out for the chart show. Please do, after you've watched this video, go over to the United Stand and watch the chart show. Because I think even if you're not a United fan, you'll enjoy it. It's a show we do every Saturday morning where it's like the charts. I used to love Top of the Pops as a kid. Basically, we do a top 10 of United players each week based on how they've performed. So, but it's not like a standalone top 10. If you were number one last week, you're not going to just drop out unless you're totally shit. Your form over the last few weeks is taken into account. Ooh, Spurs coming forward now. Chelsea have won it back. Okay, now good tackle that by Lamela. Well, Spurs have shown more purpose this second half. Two minutes if they've added on, 4 gone. Spurs not really pushing forward as much as they should be. They're going side to side here. They've got to try and get the ball in the box. 4 minutes have been added on, Zander, and we've had 2 already, but Spurs are on the attack here. We go wide. They need to try and force a corner or something. The Chelsea. Hit it. Go on, you're bound to score. No, keeper's got it. Caballero's got it. Mango Michelo says, Mark, I've been looking for you, so you've abandoned us for the Chelsea game. What time is our game? 2 o'clock tomorrow, mate. So, you know, if you thought Man United were kicking off at 2 o'clock today against Watford, it's tomorrow. Chelsea have got the ball here. He's going for the corner, Mason Mount. Still 50 seconds left for Spurs. They'll do well to get it over the line, but I can't see Spurs getting into this now. A sorry effort from Spurs, to be honest. I know they've got a 1 goal back, but Chelsea have just took 4 players out of the game here. They need to work hard. Good run by Harry Winks. Reece James bangs it up the pitch. Tammy Abrahams as well. 15 seconds to go. Spurs are in their own half, though. They need to do something very, very quick. Ref's played it on. That could have been a foul there. I think the ref has blown the whistle. It's 2-1 to Chelsea. I don't know why I'm clapping. I mean, just respect, really. I wanted a draw. I wanted Spurs to get a draw. I think it would have... I've got to say, it would have been total injustice on Chelsea if that had ended in a draw. It was never a draw. It was always a Chelsea win. But football can be quite funny, but it's a big 3 points for Chelsea. It's a shame. It's a shame Spurs didn't turn up, but this is Spurs at the moment. I just don't think they're a very good side. Chelsea, 2-1. They've got players coming back. Tammy Abraham came back. Loftus-Cheek didn't get on. Didn't need to use him. But with people like Pulisic, Hudson-Odoi to come back, I think Chelsea potentially would be looking a bit stronger. But the interesting thing is, Chelsea play Bayern Munich on Tuesday. We're going to do a watch-along for that. We may also do Arsenal-Everton tomorrow. But thanks everyone for tuning in. Really enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. Let's see what Sheffield United do at 3 o'clock. Can they get a win and keep close to Chelsea? Actually, they would be. But Chelsea bouncing back, and that just symbolises why Manchester United's performance and result against Chelsea on Monday was so important. Because if Chelsea had beaten us in that and then won today, they'd have top 4 done on the download. So good result for Chelsea, but top 4 race is still on. It's not the result I wanted. I did think we would get a draw today. It hasn't come to pass. Chelsea have won it 2-1. They go up to, well, they maintain 4th place with 44 points. United need to beat Watford tomorrow. We'll do a watch along for that on the United stand. Also, please do go over to the United stand and check out the chart show. That went up this morning. Really enjoy doing it, and I think you'll enjoy watching it. The top 10 United players of this week, the chart show on the United stand. Go and give it a check out. Thanks for watching.